On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families.
5 people who were on a sub voyage to the Titanic wreckage have died. The Coast Guard confirms the debris found on the seafloor 1,600 feet from the Titanic were pieces of the missing sub. Coast Guard officials are describing the tragedy as a catastrophic implosion of the vessel, giving the crew inside little, if any, warning.
Deep dives in submersibles are common for military personnel and researchers, some who work right out of San Diego. CBS 8's Jesse Pagan is here with a deep-sea researcher's perspective on what exactly happened here. Jesse.
Yeah, Carl Marcella, certainly not the conclusion that anyone wanted to come out to, but we do know that there is some experience that some researchers have that is similar to this down there in those depths that provides some insight into all of this. So catastrophic implosion is the term we've been hearing throughout the day, which really has to do with pressure, especially that deep and tough pressure at the bottom of the ocean. Experts say the pressure down there near the Titanic is about 350 times what we feel on the surface. Down there, you wouldn't feel that on your body. The hull of the ship you're in would, but any tiny failure of that ship could prove deadly.
One of my early impressions was, I think something happened to the sub, and if that's the case, they're done.
As soon as Dr. Michel Boudrias heard the news, his experience led him to a grim conclusion. Dr. Boudrias is now an associate professor of environmental and ocean sciences at the University of San Diego, but for years he was a deep-sea biologist and went on 5 submersible dives.
I mean, when we were doing our research submersible dives, there was somebody at the surface calling continuously. We have a record, every hour there's a check.
He says the approach to everything is safety and communication first, with gauges, monitors, and alarms, keeping tabs on pressure, oxygen levels, and more.
I don't know of any submersible that does this in a serious way that does not have all the systems there and then a completely double set of systems for virtually everything.
But even so, he says a failure as small as a pinhole in the hull could prove deadly, and it's what he thinks likely happened to the Titan.
It's an instantaneous thing. The pressure from the outside comes in, and it basically collapses the metal. You get the impact of an implosion. Like when you see a building collapse, right? They implode these buildings. It's kind of that same perspective.
Coast Guard officials say they don't know yet if they can recover the bodies of the 5 people on board the Titan, let alone the actual pieces of it down there. They will, however, use the resources amassed so far to keep searching and gathering information in that area. Right now, they don't know when that implosion happened. Of course, as we know through the process of this search, we heard those noises that were picked up by several different vessels out in that area, so several different parts of the investigation that now all of these people from the Coast Guard and whatnot will be putting together.
Worst case scenario in some ways, but in some ways there might be some relief. A, some closure. B, it doesn't look like they suffered, that this happened quickly, and I guess there's some solace there for the families.
From all the experiences that everybody's been talking about, instantaneous is the word. If it had to come to this, hopefully it was quick and didn't take long.
Pain-free, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Jesse.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.